Today on the Topping Show, Wendy's to debut surge pricing goes viral. Vivek's 10 consistent truths go viral as well. Nikki Haley's Trump debt tweet, well, it is roasted and backfires. Bumble to lay off 350 employees. Elon on the risk of unidentified aliens crossing the border. And Toyota recalling nearly 400,000 trucks. All of that and much more on the Topping Show. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency in IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Gotta say he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, you see, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or a business owner, you can reach the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you could click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now going over to the business part of the podcast, we have Wendy's to debut surge pricing in 2025, and they went viral and of course are subsequently roasted beyond all belief. Now, we've seen this surge pricing in a myriad of other industries, probably most famously in Uber and Lyft, where you have your standard rate for if you have to choose to take an Uber to the airport or somewhere else, and you'll have the usual rate. But if it's a fancy night, perhaps it's New Year's Eve or some other sports balls holiday that Americans are celebrating, well, then they're going to double, triple, or quadruple the price just based on the overwhelming demand. Hence, surge pricing. There's a surge in demand, and subsequently the price goes up. Now, we haven't really seen this too much in fast food before. They would certainly, I think, be an industry first. While we've seen fast food pricing be variable based on geographic location, there's a reason why the price of it is going to be darn near double in California versus, the Midwest. But that's usually just based on geography, not time of day, and not specific holidays. And it'll be interesting to see. So these fast food companies, they're in a very, very unusual situation and they kind of have their backs up against the wall just due to the rising costs and the consumers not being willing to pay a premium for something that's supposed to be cheap, fast, convenient. Well, it's no longer hardly any of those things, so they need to evolve. Now, when asked for comment, some of the Wendy's executives say, quote, beginning as early as 2025, we will begin testing more advanced features like dynamic pricing and day part offerings, along with AI-enabled menu changes and suggestive selling. As we continue to show the benefit of this technology in our company-operated restaurants, franchisee interested in digital menu boards should increase, further supporting sales and profit growth across the system. Now, let's see here. I can't imagine this going well for the company. And of course, within a couple hours, they actually backtracked saying, hey, don't worry, it's not going to happen until 2025. And on LinkedIn, he had Emma Thorne saying, quote, they claim that they're going to have, quote, no plans to raise menu prices at busy times of the day. Which, again, when we had the very first article on USA Today, where they first made this announcement, that was going to be pretty heavily implied because, again, they have parallels with other similar things, similar industries. So, again, they say they're not going to do it, but I don't see why they wouldn't, especially because, during peak times of the day, they're going to have more overwhelming demand. That's one way to decrease some of that demand, and while at the same time increasing your price points. And again, these companies need to do something different because a lot of them are between a rock and a hard place. California, the people brilliantly passed a law or voted to pass a law so that the minimum wage for fast food workers is like $20 an hour. Let that sink in for a minute there. $20 an hour to flip a hamburger. That's astonishingly improbable to make that work as a fast food concept. So they're going to have to increase those prices. So I think we're going to see a lot more increase in robotics as well as AI. And they say, oh yeah, we're gonna, now that we've seen this pushback, we're claiming it's not going to be based on the time of the day. But what else would it be? Maybe they're going to claim it's going to be based on inventory levels. They have some burgers that are about to expire, so they need to sell those quick. But there's going to be, the surge pricing is going to be based on a myriad of things. And even though they backtracked after they immediately backlashed and they were roasted online, pun rather intended since they're a fast food place, although many of them use microwaves instead of grills. But nevertheless, I think you're going to see this trend in fast food because, again, they're forced to increase their price. Their cost of goods and services are going exponentially due to the government intervention. And the quality, the ingredients, those are all going up. I would also argue due to government intervention in a myriad of industries. So the cost everywhere is going up, but the consumer doesn't want to pay that because, again, it's supposed to be fast, cheap, and convenient. So they're going to have to do something different, and I'm not too surprised they're going to try to utilize technology to do this. But let me know, do you think, I did a small poll, and granted, this is a very, very small sample size. I posted on LinkedIn asking people, would you pay, do you think this is going to blow up in Wendy's face, or do you think it'll be a good idea for the company? And pulling up my poll, actually, and again, this was a very small sample size. I posted it recently, and it got 44 votes, and I said, simple 3 options. Will this be a good idea for Wendy's? Yes, no, other. 86% of the 44 people who voted said no, 9% said yes, and 5% said other or comment. So, and again, that's a very small sample size. And again, it's also the bias in terms of the audience is only on LinkedIn. But again, the average consumer, I think they're just going to see the increased prices, they're going to walk away. And I don't know if I have to say this for the millionth time, but it is cheaper and healthier just make your own food at home for a fraction of the cost. But let me know in the comments, would you be willing to pay more just based on the time of the day or based on some other variable when you go to the Wendy's? As always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or a comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback. So let me know how I can make the show better and better over time. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.